Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1962A, and today's date is September 5th, 2019, and the title of the episode is The Patriots Take Control, the Central Bank Will Follow Instructions. Now, before we get started, I wanted to talk about protecting yourself. Nothing invokes full-scale panic like Wall Street panicking, but quietly, secretly, U.S. corporate insiders, they're preparing. CNN reported $600 million of stocks has been sold each day in August. This only happened previously before the 2008 crash. Meanwhile, gold is rocketing, and demand is at a 3-year high, according to the World Gold Council. Precious metals, gold, silver, as an IRA or 401k rollover will keep you safe and help you ride out the latest storm. Call Noble Gold right now at 877-646-5347, or you can hit the link below and you'll get the free gold and silver investment guide that has been downloaded over 50,000 times. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, the patriots around the globe, they are taking control of the economic system. Now, a lot of people are looking at the situation, and they believe the deep state, the central bank, is still in control. This is the opposite of what is happening. Let's take, for example, out in the UK. Now, the news is out there that Joe Johnson, which is the brother of Boris Johnson, he decided that he's out. He resigned. He doesn't want to be a part of this. Why? Because you have issues that have to do with government, and then you have family. Now, of course, the UK press is out there saying, well, if your brother doesn't believe in you, how is anyone else going to believe in you? But everyone knows that just because you're family, you don't agree on everything. There are families here in the United States that part of it believes in Democrats, the other part believes in Republicans, the other part believes in independents. And everyone has their own beliefs. And just because a family member doesn't follow you, that doesn't mean there aren't millions and millions of other people that believe in you. Now, Boris Johnson, he was taking questions from the press, and he was saying, listen, I would like to have a vote because the deep state, the central bankers, they actually placed him in a corner. And the only way out of this is to give the control back to the people. So the MPs passed a motion obliging the government to seek as many extensions as the EU wanted. So they're leaving it up to the EU to say, okay, we would like an extension. Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, responded by calling for a general election, whereupon Labour, which has been demanding an immediate poll for 2 years, suddenly went cold on the idea. Under legislation passed in 2010, 2/3 of MPs must agree to an early dissolution of Parliament. On Wednesday evening, Labour and the other opposition parties, looking at the opinion polls, voted against such a dissolution. Yes, you read that correctly. The parties that have been spent the past months accusing Johnson of mounting some sort of coup just voted to prevent him from subjecting his tenure to a national vote. The House of Commons has thus put itself in a ridiculous position. Pro-EU MPs have voted to keep in office a government they have calculatedly undermined. They've done so for the sole purpose of overturning a referendum result which they had previously promised to uphold. Voters are not idiots. The Conservatives have, in effect, deselected 21 of their MPs, including several former ministers, for voting with the Labour to prevent Brexit. The loss of the 21 votes has deprived the government of its majority, making an election before the end of the year almost inevitable. This will allow Britain to square up to the EU without being undermined. Boris is going to win. He has the people behind him. And those in the central bank, the elite, the deep state, they do not. They realize if or when they go ahead with this vote, the people are going to say, yes, let's follow through with the Brexit. Period. This is what they voted for. This is what they want. The elite, the central bankers, the EU, they're the ones who don't want this to happen. And they know if it's left up to the people, they're screwed. Boris has the upper hand. Now, here in the United States, the Patriots, are controlling the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve said the U.S. economy is still growing steadily and most businesses are optimistic, even in the face of trade wars. Think about this for a second. The Federal Reserve is still saying the economy looks good, even though there are these trade wars going on. Trump tweeted out the following: U.S. winning trade war with China in dollars, CNBC. Think about what's happening here. Trump, the Patriots, they are controlling what is going on with the Federal Reserve. Now, remember, Trump leading up to this point, he's continually pointing the finger at the Fed, and there's a reason why he's doing this. It's all about optics. It has to make it look like that the Fed is not really in line with the Patriots. And Trump is angry at the Fed because they're not doing what he wants. And if they don't do what he wants, the system falls apart. The Fed right now, they're lining up another quarter-point rate cut. They're doing exactly what Trump and the Patriots want. And what's very interesting is the New York Times, well, they're stepping back and saying, well, maybe we won't have a recession in 2020 now. The economy seems pretty darn strong, and maybe that isn't going to happen. You're going to see a lot of the mainstream media back off of their recession talk because they're going to look like fools. Because they know, and we all knew this, once the Fed cuts rates, once the Fed starts stimulus, which already they're starting to buy bonds, the economy in the beginning stages will look incredible. Now, of course, as we continue on, the bubbles, the entire system is going to be driven to the edge. Now, Trump and the Patriots, they know this. This is all being done on purpose. What they are doing is they are keeping the system alive long enough while at the same time driving the system to the edge of the cliff. How do you destroy the entire central bank system? You bring it to the edge of the cliff and you let it fall off. This is how you beat them. There is nothing right now that is going to hide the implosion of the central bank economy. They don't have a war. They don't have a special event. They can't blame it on anyone. Trump, Boris, the Italian prime minister, and the rest of the countries, all they need to do is point at the central bank system, point at the EU. Look what you did. You continually lowered the rates. You destroyed the economy. You put us all into debt. You destroyed the economy. This was your economy. You said you were managing it, and everything was going to be great in this system. Same thing with the Federal Reserve. When the system falls apart, Trump will turn to the Fed and say, what happened here? You're in control of the economic system. Why did it fall apart? I told you to do this. You didn't do it. You did that. And now the system is breaking apart, not just here in the United States, but across the world. This is how they're going to take the entire central bank system, which has grown to this gigantic octopus where the tentacles are everywhere today, and they're going to cut them all off and throw the carcass over the cliff all at once. Meanwhile, behind all of this is gold. China has gold. Russia has gold. And there is talk that Trump has recovered the gold here in the United States. This is why they're so confident. This is why gold is creeping up. Yes, you're going to see it bob up and down. It just can't go straight up. Too suspicious. Everyone would catch on. Everyone would be heading towards gold. It would be a disaster. You need to bring it up slowly and make sure you have everything in place for this transition. This transition into this new economic system is going to happen much sooner than I think everyone believes it's going to happen. Everything is being prepped, and everything is moving in that direction. And this is why I've always said, no matter if it was the deep state in power, yes, we would have a completely different scenario. You would have to prepare. You would have to prepare for something completely different. You would have to prepare for a collapse and a credit freeze, and you would go into survival mode. This transition is different. They're setting up a sound money system which is running parallel to the central bank system. This is why Trump is bringing in people to bring in the sound money. They're bringing back manufacturing. They're going to wipe out the debt. All of this is being done at the same time they're keeping the central bank system alive, just like they did back in the 60s leading up to 1971 when they switched over from the gold standard over to the petrodollar standard. There were two economies running at the same time. Henry Kissinger in the background was in the Middle East setting that up. Trump right now with the Patriots, they're setting up the new economy. And they're going to make the switch. And we're switching back to gold. Back in the 70s, we switched from gold to the petrodollar. Yes, it will be a little bumpy. Yes, it will be a little difficult. There will be adjustments. This is why you need to prepare. This is why you need to protect your wealth. This is why you need to have food and supplies just in case. Never hurts to prepare for something that is coming. And guess what? If everything goes smoothly, you eat the food. You drink the water. You use the supplies. You don't have to purchase it. You already have it. And all the gold and silver that you have that too. You have it all. The transition is coming. Trump and the Patriots are preparing it for the people. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.